Hello. I should be. Do you know what I mean? But I'm not. uh, yes. Hello and welcome to the Podblast. It's a quick one. I watched the first episode of The Winter Soldier. Don't ask me how. And I don't think the UK gets it until winter. Which is very unfair since it was filmed here. So anyway, don't matter about that business, does it? So anyway, I watched it and I went for a ride on my motorbike this morning. Funnily enough, I went to Landerville, or through it, past it, Bala Lake and back. So that I could have a little think and whatnot. I wrote some of this down here. I'm not going to go into too much detail. I'll give my opinions on certain things. It's very heavily full of spoilers. This, so if you want to watch it and what have you, then don't listen to me. Turn it off. If, however, I've got this weight ahead of you, I want to know what's going on, well, I can tell you as regards to how it matches up with the books and whatnot. I'll start by saying the directing of this is an odd one. It's a mixed bag. The exterior shots and CGI shots are very, very good. The tour looks brilliant. It looks it's a bit different set wise down on the floor on the base of it, because I imagine something a much dirtier place filled with very odd looking people with various mental disabilities, really, and traumas and physically physical traumas, but no, it looks quite a happy, nice place. And the second time you see it is it's during the Petroval festival, where the hands are being tied together with reeds and stuff to say they could become men and women, and it has a different feel to it than the books by a long shot. There's lots in this that's very odd as well. Some decisions and what have you. When Mordred's born, the light the fires of Kirkadern and so on and so forth. It doesn't. They don't use special effects for it, and it's just a little bonfire. Something that the fire brigade wouldn't put out. So I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking of that is. If you can make a CGI castle, you can make a great big fire next to it, can't you? I don't know. I don't know whether these are things that have happened from the producer side of things and not having the money, or whether the director hasn't thought of it. I don't know. Because when it comes to the interior shots, when it comes to the dialogue and the choices that they've made story-wise, it's a bit shocking, to tell you the truth, as a comparison to the books, and that's all I can really do, because the books are so in there that I can't not draw on them for comparison. I know it's not fair, because books can convey so much more, because they've got the space and time to do that, whereas a director has to get the big story, find the beats within that story and put them up on the screen so that we know what's going on. What's happened with this is that the beats have been left out. So a big part of these books, as far as I'm concerned, is the religious aspect, and Bedwing, Samsung, Tannenbergs, Merlin. It's a whole thing. When when Mordred is born, and the crew from the tour go up to help out, there isn't that thunderstorm of the gods being angry that that he's being born and these bad omens that he's going to tear Britain apart and that kind of thing. We don't have that. We don't have is it Rala or Owain? I forget names. I'm really bad. It's ADHD and dyslexia and all that carry on. It can mess with me. Believe me, I've read the books a million times. I know who these people are, but I won't necessarily remember the names. When she's giving birth and she has trouble with the birth, she's got Christians around her, and that's because she's a Christian, and it's very important to her, and it's all going wrong. And Uther has to make that decision, doesn't he? Listen, you're going to have to let us pagans go in there and sort it, or he's going to die and you won't have an heir. What are you going to do then? And all that business. And so that doesn't happen. We just go straight in. The scene lasts no more than 25 seconds, I don't think. The crew just go straight in, and Morgaine puts her, she puts her arm in elbow deep, and that child is born with its club foot. And for the second time in the story, and this is another thing, this is a change that they've made, Merlin has a vision of Britain's destruction because of Mordred, and he conveys this to Merlin, and he conveys this to Uther, and Uther's, well, you can't be saying things like that. He's the, and we know what he says, in the books. He doesn't have to walk. He'll ride. He's a king. But Merlin is outright saying, well, no, Arthur. You need Arthur. Forget him. Don't mention his name in front of me. Right, well, I'm going to go and get him. No, don't you go and get him, because I'll banish you as well. It's fair enough. I was laughing. But I'm going to go and get him. And that is such a big... So not having the religion, not having the fact that Arthur's away, and him coming back because his dad finally dies, because Uther is not dead by the end of this. He's talking to, because as we know, Gondolus makes his move and takes over, gets with is it Rala Rala or is it Ladwis? Anyway. And then obviously there's the kiss my sword, jabba jabba, and thinking that he's killed Mordred and all that carry on. I don't think any of that's going to happen. It seems as if Gondolus is going to kill Uther, because Uther's fighting fit in this. Do you know what I mean? This is meant to be like almost the dying actions of, I can die now, because at least he's about I've got an heir, and so on and so forth. Anyway. So the religious aspect is a massive, massive thing that they're missing here. Part of that is the fact that Derval, we see him in his death pit, being rescued by Arthur. Yeah, before his banishment, before he goes to ban in Gaul for some reason. So before he goes over to ban, he's just wandering the place, picking up boys from Spikes, and he takes him to the Tor, and he says to Merlin, you look after him. I don't want to. You look after him. There isn't that Merlin wants him because he survived a death pit by a rival druid, and so would be very handy to have about because he is protection from Tannenbergs. No. In this, when Gondolas turns up at the end, he is already a Christian, or pretending to be a Christian. I don't know which. I think he's just a Christian. I don't know, but there's no druids with him, because that was the thing. He was very openly pretending, because his druid's always with him. So I don't see. It's very messed up. It's not even a matter of rushing things. It's a matter of missing out key parts of people's lives. So Derval being rescued, we go 8 years on. We go to the betrothal ceremony, and as we know, in that, Nimue and Derval get it on. He becomes a man, and then she says that she's of the gods, and she's going to have to, that this is just a thing. This is just this summer. This is just a moment of our lives. Tomorrow, I'm going back to the fact that I'm gonna suffer the free trials from the gods and become greater than Merlin. That's my motivation. So that's the way it is. So let's have this blood pact. Slice hands together. You're now mine, Derval. Whenever I will need you, you'll know. And sure, he gets that throbbing when she's been exiled to it's not Land of the Dead, is it? What's it called? Island of the Dead, the Lost. I don't. You know where she goes, and it's Derval's first big adventure on his own, and shows how honourable, how silly he is. I don't know, but it's a very important moment for Derval. It doesn't look like it's going to happen, because that doesn't happen. The blood pact doesn't happen. Instead, Nimue says, "You are bound to Arthur," because he's the one that rescued you from the pit. So you're bound to Arthur, which is not how it was. Again, and a very important thing for Derval was the fact that the first time that he ever sees Arthur is once all that's gone down. He and Howell defend the caravan of people escaping Gondolas's hunting crew, because he now knows that they've got the real Mordred, and he needs to kill him to make sure there's no heir. And they're nearly at Caircadern, and Gondolas is there with his army, and then who appears for the first time in the story is Arthur with his goose feathers, with his shiny armor and whatnot, and comes in and as much as Derval wants to be a warrior, he doesn't want to be. It's not about being in Arthur's crew until that moment, and it's a very important moment. That, and it's a kick-ass moment in the books. It's a shout for joy moment in the books. It really is. And yes, these beats are going to be missing. You can see that there's kind of just, they're getting rid of key scenes with a single line. Yeah. Also with that scene, the fact that they don't get it on. He doesn't become a man, she doesn't become a woman that day, and that kind of thing. This stolen moment that's special and binds them, and all that business. And her swimming like an otter. It doesn't. What am I trying to say? I've lost my train of thought. So, because that doesn't happen with Derval. No, Nimue. So Nimue, Merlin comes and interrupts them and says, "Hey, listen, you've got to make a choice right now, Nimue. You are either Gonna go with Derval now, or you keep yourself celibate. You keep yourself, yeah, and so that you can learn from the gods. And that ain't her story, is it? Senwyn later on, much later on, she has visions, and so she can't have relations with Derval until she helps Merlin find the cauldron in Ireland. That's what happens. It looks like we're not going to have that now, because they've decided that Nimue is the one that is going to be celibate. When of course we know that she is one of Merlin's lovers, and that is a part of the process where he unloads the information of the gods upon her. It's also the motivation of why Morgan. Why do I think it's because she's got different names within the mythology of it all, and so I'm mixing them up, and I can't decide which one it is. I certainly can't remember which one is in the books. I think it's Morgan. You know who I mean. Her motivations are gone as a character, because she looks upon them with a prissy face like this for the fact that they nearly got it on, and she's not happy. And so what we haven't got is the fact that she's hugely disfigured, that Merlin has taken her in because of that. This is one of the reasons why Arthur gets on with Merlin as much as he can, is because he's made his sister powerful, and she might not have had anything if it wasn't for Merlin. And I think Merlin knows that, and she is falling out of favor with Merlin because of Nimue. So that's the motivation for her being horrible to Derval and chasing the kids and knocking them on their heads and all that carry on. There is no sense of that at the tour. The tour looks very clean, looks very tidy. Howl is not a warrior, he's a farmer. So we're not going to have... And in fact, Derval goes off and he's in the castle and he's going to be trained up by Owain. So we're not going to have Halbane. One of the most important... the second most important sword next to Excalibur in this story, obviously, is Halbane. And we're not going to have it because Howl's a farmer and meekly asks Derval, do you want to take over the farm? It's very odd to change it. So again, when you don't have this big scene with Arthur saving a young, impressionable Derval. Let's get on to the young, impressionable Derval very quickly. I'm going to try and go as quick as I can now. I am very sorry, but there's some things for me to moan about. The casting in this, is it Stuart Campbell? He could possibly be a very good Derval. He doesn't play Derval in this, though. Derval, at this time in his life anyway, is meant to be about 11 or 12 years old. And instead of getting an 11, 12-year-old, they've just got this Stuart Campbell to, I don't know what, to act like a 10-year-old. It's bizarre. It's absolutely bizarre. He's got his head ducked down as if that makes him smaller than he is. He acts more like Forrest Gump than Derval in the books. There's a bit at the end. This is what I was saying about Gondolas talking with Uther at the end, and we know that Tannenberg is now nothing to do with it because we haven't seen him. The death pit scene, at the beginning of the episode to the end of the episode, Derval having these little flashbacks of memory, and by the end he knows, oh, it's him, it's Gondolas who I've got beef with, because he's the one that threw me in that pit. Of course, it's Nimwe's prime hatred because of her first wound from the gods. Her pride, isn't it? That's him, and that's her motivation. It's got nothing to do with Derval. Derval, that's not his motivation. Derval's motivation is Tannenberg's, and he finally gets his revenge, slicing him right down the center line of his body. Well, just off, isn't it? With Howlbane at the end of the book series. We're not going to get that. This is, and it's probably the only real big time that Derval is acting for himself. He acts for everybody else so much, and that's something for himself. And so it's important, but they're not going to do it. Anyway, I've gone off on one again because of Tannenberg. So this scene, the directing isn't amazing. The interior shots, for some reason, the director's gone, right, yeah, should we get that directed? Yeah, next. Get this scene directed? Yeah, get this scene directed. And it doesn't seem to be a lot of thought going on to these interior shots. This interior shot, everyone's bunched together in the middle. Obviously, they're very proud of this beautiful set that they've made. And so the directors decided to really pull back the camera and include it. And so you have this, 30-year-old guy hiding between posts on his own. Like, if you were in a room at a party and there's some pillars and there's a 30-year-old guy running round from pole to pole, like, I mean, with the movement of, do you remember the Tango Man? Yeah, you know when you've been tango, bang, got banned in it, got banned in the playground. But it's that kind of between the posts, hiding, like, really strange that the director went, yes, that's the shot I wanted, was this 30-year-old guy doing this. Should have just cast a kid. Just cast a kid for the sake of one episode. Cast a 12-year-old. Do you know what I mean? Watching a grown-ass man do it is absolutely bizarre and the weirdest decision that anyone could have made. What are you up to? Seriously. Very odd. Merlin, his character, his motivation, everything is wrong. He wants Britain to be united. That's his motivation. No, it's wrong. It's wrong. No mention of the gods, no war of the gods. I don't know. Owain. It's really generic. You could put anyone behind the beard and just walk them on and go, yeah, Lynette, she's beautiful. She's very kind, and she's very she seems very accepting and carefree and whatnot. But you know what? Are we going to have character development there? Because we know what she's going to do, and she's one of the beautiful people that what's-her-face surrounds herself with. Why am I thinking Gwendolyn? That's Guinevere. I am bad news, me, when it comes to remembering people's names. Bad news. So Guinevere, she's one of the pretty things around Guinevere. So are we going to see a change in her character to go with Guinevere? I think that's going to be good, because there seems to be a starting point with her, and there might be an ending. So that's quite nice. Ufa, I'm really not a fan of Eddie Marsden anyway. I mean, normally when you say, well, the character's really horrible, but I'm sure he's a nice person, I'm the other I'm the other way round about him for reasons which don't necessarily have to be talked about at the moment. Yeah, I could go on. Merlin's visions. They've decided Merlin's magic as well. In the books, it's all ambiguity. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all isn't he? Because he does get some things right. So how has he done it? Is it just chance? He can blame it on the gods if it doesn't happen. And his motivation is the treasures of the gods to call them down, to come back to Earth and get rid of the Christian. It's not so much the Saxon, but certainly the Christians he wants gone. It's just the Saxons are the carrier of that poison for him. So that's all. That motivation for him has gone. The fact that the casting is wrong because he should be an old man. He should be an old man and have authority. He doesn't have authority in this. He doesn't command any kind of. He's really an affable, likable fella. There's nothing, and then he has visions. Like I say, he has visions. He puts his hands on Derval's wound and sees the future with art. Oh, he's important. Yes, he's going to be a warrior and all that. Carry on, and then you see it with. When Mordred's born, and the club fought, and he's like, "Oh my goodness, he's the end of us all." He shouldn't be having visions. He shouldn't be magic. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. I'm on a ramble, aren't I? I'm going to end now. There's one thing that I need to. Right, so the Sagramore. Right, so I'm going to address it. It's in the comments section. I was having a good talk with people on the last video when I did the reaction to the trailer, and everyone kept it civil, which is great. We were able to have an adult conversation, which is so rare when it comes to social media these days. So everyone who commented, well done, thank you. Oh yeah, you can do all that, can't you? Like, subscribe, share, comment, have your 12 a day, that kind of business. So well done, yous, for that. There was a very, I'm going to call it the race issue, because for some it is a race issue. I don't think so. First of all, it's fantasy and mythology and so on and so forth, yes, and there's some that would argue that there definitely weren't people of colour at that time knocking around Britain. There probably were, to be fair. But it's not about that for me. We are seeing a change in society at the moment. It is more inclusive, and people are making decisions not based on race. They're basing decisions based on performance and actor and that kind of thing. Because and I think it's important. I think it's very important. Not for me. It's not important for me. It's got nothing to do with me. I am a middle-aged white guy. Whether a person of colour is playing a mermaid doesn't affect my life at all. At all. It's not going to change the taste of my breakfast, is it? It doesn't change the cost of the petrol that I put on my motorbike. Nope. So it's nothing. It's really nothing to do with me. I'm drawn into it to make to make this as a statement. I've been drawn into it to say that. Just to say that that's my point of view. It really doesn't matter to me. Who it does matter to is kids. It is young kids of colour who will be able to watch TV and see a better representation, a better representation of their world. Because what you have at the moment, I mean, back in the day, it was blackface and yellowface, Ming the Merciless with those silly stick-on eyes. And you know, Doctor Who, Talons of Weng Chiang and what have you. You got Burt Kwok there. If you're gonna have to keep using the same person like he's the only actor, then do it. But don't dress up a white guy. Don't. So we white people have been. We're in control of the media. We have been for years, forever, since its inception, and that's how we have gone about our business. This is, we've had all the freedom, and this is what we do with it. We keep it to ourselves, and we've created here's a person of colour. What are they going to do? Are they going to die in the first scene? They're going to be the funny one, aren't they? When things happen, they'll go, oh my God, Corbin Dallas, oh my God. And it'll be hilarious. Oh, medieval one. What have we got? Is it Martin Lawrence? Martin Lawrence in Black Knight. Black Knight, see? You thought I meant the Black Knight, but it's... and what's he do? He teaches them all how to dance and stuff, and not be so... your daughter, she nasty, and all that. Carry on. That's what us in charge of cinema have done to people of colour. There's been exceptions to the rule, obviously, but it's so few and far between. We've only just had Oscar wins. It's crazy. It's crazy that we white people think that somehow something is being taken away from us by finally accepting that we're a merry and varied race, the human race, and that media's changing finally to accepting the fact that, guess what? Do you know what I mean? Does it matter? It doesn't affect my life. If you want to do a film of Winston Churchill, this will be inflammatory. Winston Churchill, and it's Idris Elba that plays him. Let's watch it. Let's see if it's any good. Let's see more if it's true to the character, the person who set up concentration camps in India. Let's see if that's that's all we should be interested in. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter to me and you. It matters to the next generation of people of colour who finally can see the world how it is to them, how it is to us when we walk around. It's not something that's hidden or ridiculed, controlled, cornered, pigeonholed. So that's that. I'm really sorry. That's 5-minute rant. So we get back to Sagramore. So Sagramore in the story is the only person of colour, and because of that, he is, he frightens the Saxons, this Nordic and Germanic lot who have not seen a person of colour before, and they're scared of him. Their druids are scared of him, and he's able to hold the front, the eastern front, while Arthur is away, helping out Ban because of his reputation, who he is. My problem with the casting in of Sagramore is the fact that it's just a little fella. Just a little fella. He needs to be other. If you're going to have this character the way that you want him in the books, feared warrior, have him a great big fella, and it doesn't matter what race he is, just as long as big fella with armor and all that carry on. Because if you've not done it with Arthur with his goose feathers and whatnot, so let's Sagramore be that person. Yeah, that's it. It turned into an issue at the end. Just understand that's my point of view. It's a point of view. I'm not into the word woke and stuff like that because it's a nonsense word, and I don't like things being hijacked for the wrong reasons. There's reasons to not be happy with the Winter King, and it's more to do with the directing and the limited understanding of the subject matter. Because yes, you have to edit the book, you have to get it down, but there are certain beats in the lives of these characters, because they are living people to us. There's certain beats that are very important, and they've been removed. They're not just missing. Someone's made the decision not to have those bits in because it'll be too much to do later or whatever. I don't know. My overall thought is I'm going to watch the next one. If Derval is acting exactly the same in the next one, and that is his character, then I can't be hooped with it, and I don't think I'll watch it. Yeah. Meh. I didn't wear this t-shirt intentionally. It was just the one that was at the top of the pile before I went out this morning. Yeah. Thanks for listening. I feel like I've depressed myself. I'm not. I'm going to go away now. I'm going to play some Diablo with my mate Mike online. How nice is that? Like, subscribe, get 8 hours rest, that kind of business. Feel free to talk. Let's not make it about race though, because that's my point of view. It's different to yours. Let's move on. Let's talk about the show instead. I'll see you again soon for a proper video. Maybe it'll be another one of these. Soon I will be presenting properly edited videos that I have done with a lot of post-production. These are recorded live. I don't edit them, so you get all my ramblings. And that's why I've got the Stream Deck, because I can push buttons and do all that business. And once this is done, I'll do the title card. So I'll put up a picture and do a or whatever. And because for some reason that's what people click on. And I'll do that, and I'll post it, and I'll get on with my life. It's much easier. But I will start doing some proper videos to tie in with the podcast. I'll see you later. Thank you very much for hanging around. I'm going to do the outro now. Bye.